Hello, You Revealed Live family. This is Tracey Knight, your self-mastery coach. I hope all is well with you today. I am here in Atlanta, Georgia, and in my kitchen. You know, as we are kicking off the new year, it would not be complete if we didn't do somewhat of a traditional meal, prepare some of the more traditional side dishes to kick off the new year. It's sort of superstitious, if you will, and I'm not superstitious at all. But I thought I would cook some of my favorite dishes. I can't give you all the ingredients of them because I'd have to kill you if I did. No, my mixed green recipe is a family secret that has been passed down to me, so I can't share all the ingredients with that, but I'll tell you exactly how to prepare the greens, at least leading up to our very famous secret ingredient. And I've also prepared some Hoppin' John, which are black-eyed peas and rice, and I'm happy to share that with you as well. But today's topic is about mixed up and green with envy. Mixed up and green with envy. This is what I want to talk about as we're preparing some mixed greens. So before I sort of jump in and share how to actually, is that Mo out there? Before I tell you how to actually, why I'm saying mixed up and green with envy, let me talk to you a little bit about the greens themselves and the Hoppin' John. So the greens are to represent money coming into the new year. So there's a superstition that if you prepare and eat greens going into the new year, you will have an abundance of money. This is something that our ancestors did. The Hoppin' John, which is black-eyed peas and some rice, represent good fortune or good luck going into the new year. So just to prepare these two dishes, the greens basically are made up of 4 different types of greens. Collards, turnip, mustard, and kale. And then there's one other secret ingredient that I can't tell you because I'd have to kill you if I did. So I always start, because I can cook them vegetarian. That's very simple to do, and I can tell you that recipe. But this one is prepared with smoked turkey. And so what I did is just simply boiled down a turkey wing. You know, I like to take the mainly the meaty part of that and boiled it down. And I did the same thing for the Hoppin' John. So I just really just put those in some water and allowed them to boil down, actually on a fairly high temperature. And the whole intention behind that really is to create your own chicken broth. Now, I do have some additional chicken broth here in case I didn't make enough. So you want to really just boil those down so that you have enough chicken broth to make, or in this case, turkey broth, to make the dishes and to make them flavorful. So in the meantime, you'll be washing your greens, and you know, just I buy them in a bag because a lot of times I don't feel like cleaning all that, and they make it so simple for us now. But I just wash them off with a little bit of salt water, and then you don't want to put the greens in there until the water has completely boiled and created a broth for you. The other thing you want to do with the greens is you want to then season some of the water. And the reason is, now you don't want to put too much because the seasoning is going to kind of boil out a little bit. But you want enough so that you begin to tenderize the greens. So I do put the garlic powder, the onion powder, the nature seasoning, black pepper. Sometimes I'll put some additional chicken broth in there, and maybe a bouillon cube, which I'm getting ready to add right now. Now, this happens to be a vegetarian bouillon cube. If you wanted to do this as a vegetarian dish, which is very simple to do, instead of boiling down with the turkey meat, you would simply boil down with vegetarian bouillon or whatever you want. Even with African greens, which I'll have to make those for you one day, you can do that in a very, using some of the vegetarian bouillon cubes. Okay, and so once the water has kind of come to a boil, and you've created your broth, you're going to turn the eye down to a medium temperature and begin to slowly add the 4 different types of greens: collards, kale, turnip, and mustard. And you're just kind of layering them in so that they then create a mixture, which is what I want to talk about. The other thing you want to do with the Hoppin' John the night before, what you're doing is you want to put the black-eyed peas in a bowl of water and allow them to soak overnight. The intention behind this is to get the peas to expand so that they release the gas that's in them, because we don't need you filling up the room with gas for the next 3-4 days. We don't need that. So you want to let the beans soak overnight, and when you get up the next day, you want to just rinse them off. And then what I did is I parboiled them because I want to get any additional gas off of the beans. We want as much gas off as possible. Parboiling is just to put the beans in a pot and to turn them on a very high heat to allow the gas to really rise to the top of the pan. Once you've done that, and it only takes about 10 minutes, you're going to take the pot that has all this foam on the top of it and put it in your sink. Use a strainer, pour the beans out, and rinse them off. You're rinsing all of that gas off of there. And then you're going to start adding the beans to your turkey broth mixture. So notice that was done with 2 different things. So we kind of parboiled in a separate pot, and then added the black-eyed peas into our turkey mixture, which is right here. And I've actually already cooked them. I've also added onions in here. When I tell you I put my foot in these, I did. I put my foot in these. And there's just a little turkey wing that I have in here to help give it some flavor. You know, it's a very, very simple dish. And then I love Uncle Ben's wild and brown rice. It's a long grain rice, and that is what I have prepared right here. So this is called Hoppin' John, as you well know, and I anticipate having a lot of good fortune in the coming year. Now the greens here are starting, I have them on a low to moderate heat. Now that I've layered them in and I've got my turkey meat in here. And the other thing that I did was I cut the turkey meat off. Once it boiled and was tender, I cut the meat off of the bone and then added it back into the pot. And I've laid a jalapeno pepper on top. Now you do not want to break the jalapeno pepper. You don't want to do that unless you want your greens to be super spicy, which sometimes I do. But you lay it on top to give it a little bit of kick and a little bit of flavor, but it's not too much, you know? And so I'm just letting them kind of tenderize right now and just kind of boil, and they'll be on for probably another 30 or 45 minutes. And what I'll be doing is as they tenderize and are on for a little while longer, then I will add some more seasoning to it. Again, the same seasonings that I discussed earlier, which are the nature seasoning, the black pepper, the garlic powder, the onion powder, a little bit of black pepper in it, but not too much because I have a jalapeno pepper in here. And so this is just, and again, I can't tell you the secret ingredient because that goes in last. But just doing it this way will create a very, very flavorful dish. So what I want to talk about today, and I'm going to make this fairly quick for us. Today's topic is called mixed greens, and it's called mixed and greens with envy. Greens with envy. Greens with a little play on there. Here's what I wanted to say to us today. You know, as we're entering into the new year, we have an amazing opportunity to really reprioritize and to clarify things that have been confusion in our brain. And what I mean by that is oftentimes as we're going through life, we get mixed up, much like these greens. We get mixed up about what is most important in life. And we will take different elements of different experiences and mix it all together and create really convolution in our life. We have dysfunctional relationships with a variety of people within our family, you know, with intimate partners. Hey, Janice, we have all of these mixed up perceptions or concepts around what love is, what family is, what's important to us, you know, how we should be investing our time, because time is a commodity. It really is a commodity. It is something that we actually invest. And we invest it in people, we invest it in projects and in work, and we get to choose every second of every day how we want to invest our time and our attention and our energy. And oftentimes we think that life is happening to us, like we don't have any control over, we don't have any say so in exactly what it is, hey Glennis, that is happening to us. And that is the mixed up scenario that I'm talking about. And what happens is, because we're on social media and we have all of this technology and we have TV, we have cable, we have shows, we have reality shows, we become green with envy about what we perceive somebody else has, when it's not really the truth. And so I read this little quote. It's a proverb that says, "The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance. The wise man grows it under his feet." And I thought that that was so profound and befitting for today, as we talked about mixed up and green with envy. Why is that? Because when we talk about the foolish man seeking happiness in the distance is to actually look to the future. And it's also to, in other words, let me speak to that. To look to the future is, I will be happy when. I will be happy when I get the job. I will be happy when my business is off the ground. I will be happy when I find the right mate. I will be happy when this person stops doing this, or I will be happy when this person starts doing that. Seeking happiness in the distance. Mixed up completely. Or how about this? The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance, as in looking at someone else's life and being envious of what they have. In other words, and this is one of the things that social media does and reality shows do for us, is we actually are watching someone else's perceived life, and we're saying, oh, they look so happy. They have everything together. Why can't I have everything together? Why don't I have the same type of happiness that these other people have? What is it that I have not done? Why am I so messed up? And the truth is, it's not that you're messed up. You're watching a movie. Most of the time, that's not even reality. And I'm not just talking about TV or social media. Even when you don't know what's going on in people's households. You have absolutely no idea what is going on behind the scenes of people's lives. What we don't do is to stay present in the moment and creating the life that we truly want and desire. Instead, what we do is we go and create some convoluted mixture that creates a sense of envy in our life. And so the rest of this proverb goes on to say that the wise man grows happiness under his feet. And basically all that's saying is, in the present moment, with what we have here, right now, the relationships that we have right here, right now, the way your man, the way your woman is behaving right now, how can you embrace happiness in this moment, with this opportunity, with this person, with this experience? And the thing is that it doesn't come from outside of you. It comes from inside of you. The state of happiness, which I really like to use joy, is a more appropriate term, because happiness is oftentimes tied to happenings, what is happening to you. And what we want to do is to maintain a state of joy at all times, no matter what is going on in our life, that we are joyous and joyful about the blessings of abundance that we have been given, the blessings of prosperity, the blessings of multitude. So we're growing it right under our feet. Notice I did not say we're making it. Because making has to do with ego, and we're going to force outcomes. We don't want to force outcomes. What we want to do is to say, this is the hand that I have right now. Where can I find a place of gratitude? Where can I see the abundance? Where can I see the plenitude in what it is that I already have in my life in this present moment? Growing it right up under your feet. And that doesn't mean that you don't make changes. That's not what that means. We're making changes as we go along, all along the way. We ourselves are growing and evolving. And as we grow and evolve into a greater, a higher version, a more expanded version of ourselves, circumstances are going to change. People are going to change as a result of us modifying, enhancing, expanding ourselves. So we don't have to have a mixed up life that has a lot of convolution in it. We can find pleasure. We can find intimacy. We can find joy. We can find abundance. We can find prosperity. Even, and this is not just in relationships, it's in our health as well. You know, we're not going to be like this forever unless you choose that. You know, we get to the top of a year and we always have all these New Year's resolutions. I don't make New Year's resolutions. And I don't wait until I get to January to decide what it is that I'm going to do. I'm living my life right here in this present moment, whether it's Jan 2nd or September 30th. It doesn't really matter. Because today is the day that we take back our power. Today is the day that we transform the way that we are looking at life. Today. We don't have to wait until the next year gets here to do that. We get to experience it right here and right now. So if it's in our health, why wait until you get to the next year or the next this or the next that? If you want to start eating healthy, do it today. Take one step. That's all it requires. One step. And if you fall down, you get back up. You don't have to make some big declaration of a New Year's resolution in order for you to get into the gym. Just make the commitment to yourself 3 times a week. I'm going to get in there. 30 minutes. I'm going to walk. Whatever it is for you. You know, just make the commitment. You know, I've gained a little weight here and it's okay because I know it's not forever. I'm very clear. I used to be completely obsessed with my weight and making sure that I stayed at a size 4, size 6 or whatever. And it just would almost drive me insane trying to be perfect when I couldn't even experience the happiness in the present moment. And now what I realize is sometimes my weight goes up. It depends on what's going on. Sometimes I'm seeking comfort and I eat comfort food. But now here I am. I'm back in my right mind. You know, and I'm back on eating. I made my smoothies this morning. I'm ready for the week, you know, and I'm back. I'll be back in boot camp tomorrow. It's okay. In this moment, I can find the happiness. I can find the joy. I can find the ability to be powerful, the ability to be empowered. I don't have to wait. It's already right there for you. So no need for envy of other people's lives. Most of the time, it ain't the truth because most people are walking around here either asleep or they have made some type of major sacrifice that doesn't even bring them pleasure and joy. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth. So I urge us next year, as we move into this next year, that we stay focused and centered on our own lives. This is how we build self-confidence, a sense of self-worth. We're finding the joy and the peace. We're finding the love. We're finding the strength and the courage, the resilience, the reliability inside of us. It's not reliant on our significant other, our parents, our siblings, or anybody else. It's not reliant on our employer. It's coming from within us because we're going to take us wherever we go. And that us that we're taking is powerful. And that's who we're leaning into. So that's it for today. I'll put a picture up on my page so that you can kind of see what happens. I wish I could have given you the secret ingredient, but just can't do it in my greens. But I promise you that if you just follow the recipe that I've given you, and begin to tweak it the way that you want, you will find that, because the thing with these greens is that each one brings its own little flavor and taste. And that's what you're doing with your life, is you're bringing your own little flavor and your own little taste to bear. And so create your own recipe, something that you can pass down to those in your family and bring some joy and happiness into the world. That's it for today. All right. This is Tracey Knight, your self-mastery coach. Remember, this is not about New Year's resolutions. Today is the day that we begin to take back our own power. We transform our old habits. And this is how we will win. We are winning at our own life. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.